Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this week's installment of Spiritual Readiness on the Time of the Shift. As a spiritual teacher, I find it that it's difficult and kind of challenging at times to try to help spiritually support clients and students who are feeling distressed, disempowered, and in fear, emotionally overwhelmed by all of the earth changes, the fact that there are all kinds of catastrophic fires, hurricanes, earthquakes, and also social and political changes that are taking place, a lot of people are feeling quite overwhelmed by this. And one of the things that I have to keep reminding myself is that I am not the healer. It is not Pierre's responsibility to fix and repair and do anything. What I am is that I am the connector, the bridge between them and their God. And it is that part that I have to hold true. And it's kind of complicated, although I have some insight that I can share with you and also with my clients. But it's kind of complicated sometimes to try to explain to people that although in appearance everything seems to be falling apart, that actually there's a plan at work. A simple example. When the hurricanes first of all are created because man has burned enough carbon out of, and has released enough carbon out in the atmosphere to cause temperatures to rise. Because of the rising temperature, hurricanes are created. But what people are not understanding, the hurricanes are created for one specific reason. Because as the funnel gets created by the hurricane, it is actually vacuuming and taking the extra heat in the upper region of the atmosphere, thus cooling everything down. It is Gaia's way of balancing and equilibrating everything. Thus, we should understand, although these events may be catastrophic at times, there is a higher purpose. And if we align ourselves with this and step out of fear, we can understand and process these events in a completely different way. One of the things that I have spoken to a few of my students who were in hurricanes in Florida, one of them said to me when I began to talk about exactly that, which is the fear, she said, "That's right. The moment I surrendered and I let go and I released the fear, I felt all of a sudden that I had merged with the storm. And it opened me up in a way that was unexpected. And I began to understand that there was a purpose to this, although intellectually, I couldn't comprehend what that purpose was. But emotionally, I felt actually at peace and surrendered. Although there were all kinds of noises that were going around me that would otherwise trigger fears, I was in a different state. So I'm encouraging you to understand that in all of these changes, it's your relationship to your higher power that is actually key to you making it through. Okay? Because as the moment you go into complete panic and fear, you've lost it. And I can tell you that that relationship for me is also key. And I have to remind myself that I am not the healer. And it's very difficult, particularly when you're empath and intuitive and you're constantly trying to shepherd and help people. It's very easy for you to fall in feeling their emotions. And in the moment you're in that trap, they can begin to siphon you and take you out of yourself. So for those of you who are also spiritual teachers and leaders, you need to remind yourself that the greatest power that you have is to remain aligned and in your center. Find your higher power, find your God, whatever that God concept is, and allow it to be your central axis. And more importantly, find hope. Because without hope, there is no tomorrow. Even with all of the changes that are taking place, whether they are socio-political, okay? there is different ways for us to learn as a collective, as humanity. We can learn by grace, which is typically softer, kinder. We learn by example, by watching and by listening. And if that doesn't work, then the forces of nature takes over. The universal forces law takes over, and we have to learn by karma. And that typically is very brutal and very painful. It appears that the planet has chosen the path of karma. So with all of the changes, whether they seem to be politically and socially regressive, there is a lesson. And the lesson is about us learning how to collectively listen. Sometimes these regressive change or the catapult that is needed for us to take the right position. Sometimes we are undecisive as separate individual. We are completely unmoved. We're going about our business. But the moment these regressive change happen, they immediately begin to trigger us to coalesce into one collective that can resist these changes. So there's always a dynamic that's flowing. And what I'm asking you to do is that when you connect to your God and you stay in a state of being hopeful, you are also allowing yourself to begin to see the truth and the real picture. All right? Now, I would like to guide you into a small prayer. Lord, in a time of fear, chaos, and transition and change, I seek your counsel. I surrender my soul unto you. Teach me how to let go and to allow your still voice to guide my steps, to speak through me, to touch and change others through me. May I be a vehicle for your peace, your serenity, and your hope. Lord, make me understand that it is not I that is capable of initiating change, but that all change come through you. May I simply be a vessel for the manifestation of your kingdom. For you are the giver of all things. Amen. Namaste, my dear friend. May you be blessed and hopeful, and I will talk to you very soon. Thank you.